This game recap is brought to you by Manscaped's Foot Duster Foot Deodorant. Say goodbye to stinky foot funk with this essential deodorant spray. Head over to manscaped.com and use the promo code SACCITY for 20% off and free worldwide shipping. The Foot Duster Foot Deodorant by Manscaped. The best protection any place below the waist.
Next game on the list, it's the San Francisco 49ers defeating the Seattle Seahawks 27-7. This game, man, there's two directions I can go here to start here. It is Trey Lance obviously getting hurt and now being out for the rest of the season with a ankle injury. It was not good, and our thoughts and prayers go out to Trey Lance and have a speedy recovery for him. But Jimmy Garoppolo comes in 13 of 21, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns. I want to bring this up, and it was kind of, it's almost disturbing to me, like that he went this route, and I want to talk about it. Colin Cowherd came up after the game basically and talked about how the San Francisco 49ers are a better team now without Trey Lance, that Jimmy Garoppolo is back at the helm. And they're a better team without Trey Lance. And I just thought it was very poor taste to do that just so quickly after that Trey Lance injury. I think it was
Who said that?
Colin Cowherd, but that's just kind of what he does. It's just what he does.
Well, I said that before the season.
But I just think the timing of it, doing it so soon after Trey Lance goes down.
Did you not hear the reports yesterday?
What were they?
There are players in that locker room that said it.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Well, maybe I'm.
There are players in that locker room. There's, of course, it's anonymous, but there are players in the locker room that feel like they are a better team now. And you know what? I'm okay with transparency. These are grown men. We get it's a team and it's a sport, but they're not stupid. They understand that their organization was trying to make a shift to a new generation of quarterback, to a future, and that's okay. It would be like if Malik Willis took over in Tennessee, and Tennessee's players might, you know what, we probably would have been a little bit better with Ryan Tannehill because of the experience and stuff like that. But we're moving in a new direction. And I think that's the mindset of the players. I don't think it's a knock on Trey Lance. I think we have to take it into perspective and say, look, I think we all know the 49ers are going to be a better football team from a competitive standpoint with Jimmy Garoppolo because the familiarity, the experience, they're still trying to grow, and Trey Lance still has so much to learn. So I agree with Cowherd. I think today the 49ers are a better football team this season with Jimmy Garoppolo. But
I was not saying that he was wrong. I think
his job is to analyze the game. It's not about you can be sensitive to Trey Lance's injury and still say I think they're a better football team today.
It's fair.
I mean, I don't know. I know how emotional you are, Vinny, and I know you love the emotional side of the game, and that's fine. And I'm not knocking that. Because yes, it sucks for Trey Lance, and I've been a big advocate for Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance is going to be a good quarterback, but he's raw. It's going to take time, and he needs those reps.
If we're not really being emotional and we're being honest with ourselves and having full transparency, I think Trey Lance is done.
How do you determine that based on
not because of the fact that he's done, he won't ever see the field again, but I think I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think Trey Lance comes back from this injury like Dak Prescott did. I don't think Trey Lance. I just don't. Again, all the factors I've already thought about Trey Lance, even before this injury.
What does that have to do with coming back from an injury, though? I'm trying to understand.
I think it gets him back even further. It's another hill that he is going to have to climb up from that I don't think he's going to be able to do. Sure, he may be able to see the field again and be a quarterback again, but I think this just adds another layer to why I don't think Trey Lance is going to be a quarterback in 5-6 years from now. I don't think Trey Lance is a quarterback in the NFL.
I don't get that. I don't get how an injury can make that determination.
It sets him back even further is what.
What do you mean sets? But what do you mean sets him back? He was a young quarterback who had he's played NFL game.
Now another year where he's not going to be getting valuable NFL reps. it's another year of him not getting reps at the quarterback position. Then you go into next year with the same conversations again of the doubt. And if Jimmy G is here, it's going to be like, is Jimmy G the starting quarterback, or who's going to be the starting quarterback? Like,
but Jimmy Garoppolo's not going to be there next year.
But are you sure?
Yeah,
because
well, I mean, I think that's
if it's not Jimmy
Garoppolo,
then it's going to be someone else. Remember what we were talking about in the first place with all this Trey Lance stuff.
Missing something.
Remember what we were talking about in the first place with all this Trey Lance stuff. Kyle Shanahan, the reports are out there that he did not want Trey Lance as his starting quarterback. I don't think next year that they just dump Jimmy Garoppolo and don't bring any quarterback that is like that. I think that they could easily bring in someone who comes in and causes a little bit of stirring the pot of competition.
I just think you're missing the point of what they invested in Trey Lance. It's not like he can't get. They have to give him an opportunity. They have to.
I'm not saying he's not going to be. I'm not saying he's not going to like play. I'm saying he's going to be. He's going to be playing. He's going to be on the field. But
then what do you mean he's done as a quarterback?
I'm saying in like 6 years after his first contract, after his rookie deal ends. They may give him a 5th-year option, whatever. But
this doesn't have anything to do with the injury. This has to do with the way you feel Trey Lance is going to develop as a quarterback.
I think with the injury, it doesn't help his odds. Like it does. Like he's already going. He's already battling, trying to be a good quarterback. I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. Like I never
played.
Even coming into the draft, you know my thoughts on Trey Lance. So now he has that coming into it, and I don't think that he's going to be able to so there's him overcoming the fact that he has to get used to the NFL and become an NFL quarterback. And now he has to overcome an injury where we've talked about it before. These guys that rely on their legs and their feet so much, it's going to take some time of trusting that foot. I don't know if he ends up doing that.
I first of all, I think you're way down on Trey Lance, and I don't know that there's an actual reason, but I get it. You talk about like the mindset of people and what they have to overcome in the mental side of things. This man has overcome not being a quarterback, a small school, the number 3 overall pick. He's already overcome so much. So to me, when I look at, hey, is this guy going to be able to come back from an injury in today's medicine? Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not saying he's not going to be able to come back from the injury.
And then you talk about, but that's part of it, because if he comes back from the injury and he's healthy, Dak Prescott, if he's a healthy player coming back from an injury, and there's no concern about injury, then what do you have the concerns about that injury? You don't think he's going to come back like Dak Prescott? What does that even mean?
I have the concern that he's not going to be able, it is still hard. Like even Cam Akers with the Achilles injury, like coming back. We've talked about it before, where he came back and I'm not saying Trey Lance is going to come back too soon, but I'm saying that he's still. You've said this. You have even said this. He looks uncomfortable. He looks like he doesn't trust maybe his cuts or things like that. I can see that happening with Trey Lance.
Yeah, a broken ankle is not the same, Vinny, as a torn Achilles. That is not the same thing. A broken ankle is a bone. A bone snaps, a bone goes back together.
Yeah, but
that's
you still don't feel still don't feel comfortable. Like there still could be a process of him not feeling comfortable on it.
There is going to be a process for that. The difference also is he plays quarterback. I'm sorry, but Trey Lance was never going to be a 20-year starter in the NFL running the football only. He was going to have to develop as a passer, as will Lamar Jackson, as Cam Newton was supposed to do, as all those other guys have to do. So yes, there is going to have to be a transition from Trey Lance developing as a runner to as a passer.
I think you're eliminating a good part of Trey Lance's game if he can't run.
But can't run and being the same runner are two different things. Dak Prescott is not a runner. Dak Prescott runs when it's necessary. Josh Allen is not really a runner, but he runs when necessary. Patrick Mahomes, same thing. He has to develop as a passer. You don't think Trey Lance can develop as a passer. That's really what it boils down to.
Well,
I don't believe he could develop as a passer. So
I don't think Trey Lance can develop.
Saying it now doesn't change anything that you thought about him before, because it's the exact same thought before. In 6 years, you didn't think he was going to be a quarterback.
You're right. It doesn't change anything that I have now, but it adds on to it almost reassures me that I think I'm going to end up being right with Trey Lance.
How? It's the same exact situation as last year. He's not the starter this year. He'll come in next year. He'll be the starter. He'll have to prove himself. I just don't like to write somebody off because of injury. I have a problem.
It's not, and again, you're not hearing what I'm saying. I'm not just writing him off because I'm not just
don't bring up the injury then because you've already written him off.
I wrote him off before the injury. The injury just doesn't help.
It doesn't hurt if you've already written him off. What is it? Does it add to it? Does it make it even worse?
He was at -3 before. Now he's at -5. That's where we're at with Trey Lance. We're just continuing to go down. That's what I feel about Trey Lance. That's what I feel about him.
It's easy for people to pile on a guy who was like this, who had upside but not proven when something like this happens. That's all I'm saying. It's really easy for people to pile on. It would be the same thing as if Malik Willis got hurt. And then everybody's like, see, told you Malik Willis ain't going to be nothing, blah, 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 because he got hurt. Like,
how many people thought Malik Willis was going to do something? Like, be a big
to do that. Those have always been your feelings about Trey Lance. That's all I'm saying. It's like saying those again. Okay, like you never believed in him before.
It's fair. It's fair. Let's put a bow on this game here and talk some
We haven't
Seahawks.
even talked about the game.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about the game. All right. The 49ers defeat the Seattle. You might be able to clip that just as an injury report for Trey Lance. So let's jump into this game then. The San Francisco 49ers defeat the Seattle Seahawks 27-17. Trey Lance leaves this game with a season-ending ankle injury, a potential season-ending ankle injury. We have not gotten an official word of that, but it's looking.
They said he's out for the year.
Oh, did they? Okay, so season-ending ankle injury for Trey Lance. Jimmy Garoppolo steps in, 13 of 21, 154 yards, 2 touchdowns for Jimmy Garoppolo in this game. What did you see? Let's start off with the Seahawks then. Let's talk Seahawks. What did you see from the Seahawks in this game, if anything?
It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. Only one receiver can be good at one time. It's either Tyler Lockett or it's either DK Metcalf. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is. But more so than anything, I was very disappointed in the run game. The lack of usage in the run game was just not good for me. 6 carries for Rashad Penny, 4 for Ken Walker, and then 2 for Travis Homer. Like you get rid of your quarterback. And you go to this, I want to be a run-first football team, play action, and then Gino's the one who's doing all the work. I don't get it. I know they didn't have the ball a lot. I know that the 49ers kind of dominated time of possession. They only had the ball for 20 minutes in this game. But I think it was important for Seattle to come in every game and establish a running game, and they didn't. So as I told you, after the game against Denver, like Gino played great, like calm down. Because next week he could not play so great, and he didn't. He didn't play well at all. I thought he just missed a bunch of things he should have had. His completion percentage was great, but a lot of it was small, short stuff. He wasn't able to push the ball down the field. Seattle's offense is going to struggle this year. They just are. Geno Smith is not dynamic enough offensively, and this is why I was and I'm not trying to say that Geno wasn't the right choice, but this is why I was an advocate for Drew Lock, because yes, Drew Lock can throw the interceptions and look like a bum, and he's not very good. But there's one thing Drew Lock has: is confidence and his ability to throw the football down the field. And he will take those chances. And I'm sorry, but a team like Seattle has to be that. They have to be aggressive and have to take chances because they're not super talented overall in their roster. So I thought that Drew Lock would give them more opportunities to make plays down the field to DK Metcalf and to Tyler Lockett versus Geno being the smart guy that he is, just checking down all the time, taking the punt when necessary. And I don't think that was the kind of team Seattle needed to be. So those were my concerns. They're still my concerns. And Seattle is going to struggle to score this year.
I need to bring this comment up just so I can nip this in the bud right now. This is not a hot take, Bailey. This is not a hot take to say like this. It's not a hot take.
Pete Carroll's 80 years old, damn near. Yeah, like he can retire at any time.
The dude is decrepit and dead right now already. He's walking like dust. Like if he retires after this season, it like sure, like call it. That's fine. Everyone might call that. Like it would not surprise anyone if Pete Carroll retires at the end of the season. Like he is decrepit.
Bailey be thinking he'd be having the hottest takes.
I think the player of the game here will shift back over to the San Francisco 49ers side of things. And I give the player of the game to the new number 1 running back in San Francisco, and Jeff Wilson Jr. Obviously coming in replace of Elijah Mitchell, who got hurt last week. He comes in 18 carries, 103 total yards, 2 receptions. This game wasn't like a big game of like guys who just balled out, but with what Jeff Wilson did now coming in to be the starting running back, he was efficient. He was productive. He did what he had to do. He is my player of the game.
You be getting the player of the games all wrong, man.
Why? What is it?
Come on,
what is
man.
wrong?
There should have been nobody else player of the game except for Jimmy Garoppolo. Not expecting to play, come in and do what he did and lead them. First drive, boom, 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 touchdown. Like, come on, man. Jeff Wilson had a regular ass day.
Jeff Wilson had a good day after not being named the starter and now coming in and being the starter. That's what it is.
He's been a starter before.
He has not been a starter before. When has Jeff Wilson been a starter?
Jeff Wilson has started football games before.
Okay, yeah, but like he hasn't. But it's always been him coming in like after someone. He's never won a running back job.
He didn't win this job, but somebody got injured.
What's
the same way that's the same way he got. That's the same way he got the starting job last time.
That's the point. That is my point. Let's move on.
He knew he was going to play. He knew he was going to start the game.
Jimmy Garoppolo knew he was going to play eventually.
But not in this game.
I don't know. I think every game he's like, I'm probably going to go in. Trey Lance is going to suck, and I'm going to come in.
You stay picking the wrong player of the game.
I try my best. It's good conversation. Now